Hello guys, welcome back to PHPRad front-end development. In this tutorial we are looking at Ajax, and in case you don't know the meaning of Ajax means it's more of making an asynchronous JavaScript web application. But to define the word asynchronous, it means something that happens at different time. Okay, apart from happening at different time, when you bring it to the development aspect of it, is more of allowing the client to continue, to continue doing something different time without kind of missing the main point. Okay, it's more of, as we are here, we can do something else by adding something here. Okay, what we have done is that we have gone to another page of this web application and we have gotten something and we have posted it here differently, okay, without refreshing what we have here. It happens differently, but we didn't lose focus, or we didn't lose the mother page. I don't know how. It's more of, I think that is a bit laid down definition of Ajax for you guys. So on our previous video we were able to achieve something that looks similar to this, but in this tutorial we are going to continue from where we stopped. So let's open PHPRad, and before we continue we have to disable this thing. Okay, initially it is like this, and when you preview it like this, see, so we are going to disable it. If we are to disable it, we just highlight it, Ctrl// and it's going to disable it, or you can equally just delete the code and you are going to have your navigation bar back. Alright, so we can come back to our notes. We can add something and we can say something and we can submit it, and that is where we are. So let's try to do something. Let's try explaining something. We want to first of all do the most common things everybody might have done. What is that? Is actually to give a button an Ajax modal. So I'm going to this note, go up here to this list page, select this button that says add new note. I'm going to change it from navigation and I'm going to select Ajax modal and I'm going to preview it. Now when we click on this button, it's going to load a modal for us, and we can say something or type something here, submit it. You can see we are still on that page. There is no redirecting going on here, and the information was able to pick up to itself. Now before we continue, I want to show you something. Come over here to apps, move down to views, move down to partial, over to notes, and you notice that we have 4 files, which is the view file, the list, edit, and add files. So these are the 4 files we have, and these files you can locate them from here: list, view, add, edit. The delete is not a file, it's actually kind of set of coded for a particular function, so you don't need a page for it. Okay, so now I want to show you something else. You can enable an Ajax list or Ajax page over here by setting this page to be Ajax, by making it true. And when you preview it, it's not going to do anything wonderful for you. And when you add something, Ajax, let's say Ajax is turned on, and we submit this thing, actually nothing is going to happen. Okay, Ajax is turned on, is normal thing. But when you come over here and try to go up, come over to notes, you will notice that a page has been added, and that page is called Ajax list.php. So what happens is that whenever you add something to this page, whenever a post action is triggered, this page will prevent that post action from redirecting to its default link. Okay, so it's going to prevent that, and it's going to reload the content we have here, and it's going to pick a new content from this address and load it inside here. So that is the basic technique. Let me show you something. I'm going to take away this thing, this button. I'm going to delete it, and I'm going to add my own button. Okay, I'm going to add my own button. I'm going to call this I'm going to say a class I'm sorry for all this. Let's delete it. Come over here. Okay, let's start typing the code. Okay, class btn primary or btn success, so that danger, so that you have a different color, and page, or let me leave it like this and say href, and I'm going to say php print link, and the link we want to print is notes, and we want to go to add page. All right, so we call this new add button. We preview it like this, preview it. So as you can see, our button is here. Okay, let's give this thing a div, so that we can take away these things. Okay, it's gone. So when we click on this button, it's going to redirect us to the notes page, and that is what we want. I'm going back, and now I'm going to add something to this button, so that's going to be an Ajax. So I'm going to click on this button, come over here on the class. I'm going to type open page modal, just like that. Let's see if it's going to work. When you click on it, nothing happens. Okay, so how are we going to solve this thing? We can quickly, or actually just delete the open and leave it as page modal, just like that, and you preview it. Now when you click over here, it's going to load the modal page for you, and we can add something like I like this, and we submit it. So I like this has come, and the modal page of a thing has also gone, and we can add another one just like that. So what will happen if we didn't enable this Ajax page? I'm going to show you. Let's turn it off and preview it again, and when we click on this thing and I say I don't like this, and we submit it, it has been submitted. As you can see, record added successfully, but the modal page is still there, and there's no new data added to what we have here. So this records didn't fetch a new data while we submit it, so we have to refresh this thing before we have what we have posted that says I don't like this. So I believe with this you can understand the function of this Ajax page by enabling it on. If you turn it off, there's another way. There's another thing you can do, but for you to understand that thing, we are not going to use this button. I'm going to clear this button, and I'm going to render this. Come over here to notes, over this note, open it, move to notes add, just drag it and drop it here. Okay, and show header is false, preview it. Now we have that thing rendered for us, so we can type something and say wow. We submit it, it refreshes it. That's why we're able to have wow. So what we can do is okay, let's just keep going. You will understand everything as we move further. So what if you do this? You come over to this parent holder and you type this, you type something like this, you type Ajax dash page, and you preview. There's no wonderful thing that has happened, but when you said wonderful and you submit it, as you can see, it has added that record, but it has prevented from redirection. That is actually the function of when you select this thing to Ajax. It's part of the things it does. It gives the parent holder of this list page, it gives it a class like this Ajax page, and what this Ajax page does is that it prevents post action, it prevents redirection of that particular page. So we have submitted something which is wonderful. Let's try to say something else, and we submit this thing. it has been posted, but it prevents us from redirecting, and there is no new data fetched for us. Alright, so let's enable the Ajax fully and come down here. Since we have enabled Ajax fully, there's no need of typing this thing, and we'll preview it. Okay, just look at what is going to happen here. I'm going to type here, and I'm going to say submit. There's no redirection, but there's a new content posted for us. I love this. I love this. Submit it. As you can see, I love this game. So that is it. And since you have understand how Ajax work for us, I believe I'll get you guys in the next tutorial. And from the next tutorial, we're going to start a bit, since you get the knowledge of this Ajax of a thing. But before we call it a day, I just want to let you know that the content in this Ajax is more of a clone of what you have here in this list. What you have here. So they cloned the content here and they posted it for you here. Let me show you an example of what I'm talking about. As you can see, you have this TD background, and inside this TD background you have a data name, data title, data placement, data toggle, data type, data modal. Okay, the reason why we are having it here is because those contents are located inside here as well. So let's make this thing back, and let's remove this inline edit. Let's toggle it off, reset this thing, and we have something plain. Okay, as you can see, we have TDN check box, TD ID, TD notes, TD background, TD timestamp. I'm going to remove all these things. I'm going to just display them to be none. Put the display type to be none, so that we're not going to view them. I just want to prove you that is a clone. The Ajax list is a clone of this page. All right. Timestamp none, background none. We don't need it. All we need is the notes and the ID. Probably we don't even need the ID. So we preview it. So we have just the notes and this BTN. Okay. Now we come over to the custom view, reset it, and as you can see, we have just this thing. We have just this TD notes. All right, so let's come over here to our Ajax list. As you can see, all those things has been taken away from us. Okay, we just have this TD checkbox and also TD notes and the buttons. As you can see, the rest of those things we used to see has been taken off. All right, so since you get that thing and you understand that Ajax content, Ajax here is a clone of what we have here, so that when you post something, it's going to copy whatever we have inside here and it's going to load it. Let me show you where it's going to load that. It's going to load it where it should load it. PHP Ajax Spinner. It should load it. What am I missing? Okay, it should load it inside. Okay, it should load it inside here. That says class page data ID page data. So it's going to load its content inside from here downwards. That's where it's going to load its content. So I think we don't need to talk much. You just need to understand how Ajax flows, and that is it. In our next tutorial, we are going to do much. I'm going to remove this thing, and we have this. So in our next tutorial, we are going to start doing some designing things and try to make application beautiful and try to control some things so that it's going to look amazing. So without further ado, thank you so much for your time.